Welcome to Phillies Fan Central, where passion meets the diamond and every fan's voice counts.
What is going on, Fighting Phils family? Welcome back to Phillies Fan Central. I'm your host, bringing you the latest, most in-depth analysis direct from South Philly. We have got a massive update today regarding the outfield market that is going to stir up some serious debate among the fan base. But listen, before we dive deep into these latest rumblings from the hot stove, I need you to do the business that keeps this channel growing. Smash that subscribe button right now. Drop a like on the video to help the algorithm find other passionate Phillies fans. Ring the bell on notifications so you never miss breaking news. And most importantly, get ready to sound off in the comments section. This is a community by Phillies fans for Phillies fans, and your voice matters here. All right, let's get down to business. We know the narrative heading into this winter. The Philadelphia Phillies desperately need outfield reinforcements. The front office is acutely aware that we need more consistent production from the corners, especially with the looming uncertainty surrounding the designated hitter spot and the potential departure of Kyle Schwarber in free agency. The dream scenario, the one that has every fan dreaming of that Red October energy right now, is obviously landing a superstar like the Chicago Cubs outfielder Kyle Tucker. That is the Tier 1 move that changes the landscape of the National League East. But as objective analysts of this game, we have to prepare for contingencies. Dave Dombrowski and the front office are always operating with Plan A, Plan B, and Plan C. And it is Plan C that is making headlines today, thanks to a report stemming from an article by Andre Hughes, referencing analysis from Destiny Lugardo of Phillies Nation. We are talking about a name that is going to make a lot of people in the Delaware Valley cringe instinctively: former New York Mets outfielder Michael Conforto. Now, stay with me here. I know the immediate reaction. Why on earth would a team chasing a World Series title target a guy coming off an absolute disaster of a season? Lugardo's report correctly highlights just how abysmal Conforto's 2025 campaign was with the world champion Los Angeles Dodgers. We are talking about a player who was signed for a whopping $17 million last year and proceeded to post a batting average of just .199. He was below the Mendoza line for the season. Furthermore, despite that massive salary, the Dodgers didn't trust him enough to put him on the roster for any of their 4 postseason series. He was essentially paid $17 million to watch their title run from the dugout. Lugardo rightly notes that this would be an incredibly unpopular move in Philadelphia, stating a left-handed outfielder who had the worst year of his career in 2025 interests you? No, it is understandable. However, this is where we have to put on our general manager caps and look at the market realities. If the Phillies miss out on the top-tier guys like Tucker, the free agent pool specifically for left-handed outfield power drops off dramatically. The argument for Conforto rests entirely on the concept of a bounce-back candidate on a cheap, prove-it deal. Lugardo points out that before his major shoulder surgery in 2022, Conforto was legitimately one of the better-hitting outfielders in baseball during his time with the Mets. Even his 2 seasons with the San Francisco Giants prior to the Dodgers debacle were respectable. The thinking here is that a player with his track record simply cannot be as bad as he showed in 2025. Again, if the Phillies' internal brass is truly comfortable with Brandon Marsh or young Justin Crawford handling center field duties, they might view Conforto as a low-risk, medium-reward platoon option for a corner spot, banking on a return to his career norms rather than the aberration of last season. The conversation around Michael Conforto really forces us to examine the Phillies' entire off-season philosophy. This isn't just about one player, It is about risk management and resource allocation. When a hitter's confidence completely evaporates the way Conforto's seem to in Los Angeles, it is a massive gamble to assume it will just magically return with a change of scenery. We have seen this story play out before in baseball history. Sometimes a guy, even a guy who used to possess 30 home run power in his prime, just loses the ability to consistently barrel up the baseball. The article notes that while it is unclear exactly what mechanical or mental block caused his struggles to make contact, assuming a new uniform fixes everything is incredibly risky behavior for a contending team. If Dave Dombrowski decides to go down this path, it signals that they are looking at the value bin of the market. The article suggests the Phillies might be willing to risk something in the neighborhood of $5 million on Conforto. Now, $5 million is a drop in the bucket compared to the $17 million the Dodgers lit on fire last year, but it is still precious payroll flexibility. If you sign Conforto for $5 million and he gives you another season hitting around 200 with minimal power, that is $5 million that could have gone toward bullpen depth, a utility infielder, or saving up for a trade deadline acquisition. It also potentially blocks the path for a younger player in the system who might offer more upside or defensive versatility. The tension here is palpable. On one hand, you have a front office that needs to fill a hole and might see a market inefficiency, a talented guy coming off a terrible year whose price tag has crashed. On the other hand, you have a fan base with championship aspirations that does not want to see the organization sifting through another team's cast-offs, particularly a guy who contributed absolutely zero to a World Series run just last month. If this move happens, the pressure on Conforto from day one at Citizens Bank Park will be immense. He wouldn't just be battling opposing pitchers, he'd be battling the perception that he is washed up. It is the kind of uninspiring move that Lugardo notes everyone will be very upset about if it actually comes to fruition. It feels less like a strategic strike and more like settling because the market didn't break your way. But in this game, sometimes the moves you hate in November are the ones that provide crucial depth in August. To wrap this up objectively, the linkage of the Phillies to Michael Conforto is a clear indicator that the organization is preparing for a scenario where they do not land their top-tier outfield targets. It is a move born out of necessity and market scarcity, banking heavily on past performance over recent results. It is a low financial risk gamble, but a high-risk move in terms of opportunity cost and public perception. So I have to turn this over to you guys. This is the pulse of the fan base right here. What is your gut reaction to this report? Is Michael Conforto a savvy, low-cost bounce-back candidate worth taking a flyer on for $5 million? Or is this an absolute disaster waiting to happen that signals a failed offseason? Let me know your honest thoughts down in the comments below. I will be down there mixing it up with you. Remember, this channel is powered by your passion. If you appreciate real, in-depth Phillies coverage without the fluff, make sure you subscribe to Phillies Fan Central, smash that like button, and ring the bell so you are always the first to know. We've got a long winter ahead, but we're in this together. Keep that Red October energy alive all year round. Go Phils!